Original post, posted 2 months ago. Title: I think the lighthouse I was stationed at knew more than it let on. I know how that sounds. I do. I sound like a guy who's spent too long alone on a rock in the middle of nowhere. But I have to get this off my chest before I lose my nerve. My name's Ray. I'm 32. And for the past 6 months, I've been the seasonal keeper for an old, decommissioned lighthouse just off the coast of Washington State. Port Blossom, to be specific. Not the kind of place you find unless you're looking or you're lost. It's the kind of posting guys take to disappear. I wasn't running exactly, just needed space. My wife passed 2 years ago in a car accident, and the silence felt better than all the fake condolences from people who didn't know what to say. The lighthouse is technically non-operational, just a historical site now, but the Maritime Preservation Society hires a seasonal keeper every year to keep it maintained and to catalog any damage from storms. I was told no one else applied this year. That should have been my first clue. Anyway. For the first month, it was what you'd expect. Quiet, isolated, a lot of reading and fixing old pipes. The supply boat came once every 2 weeks. I had radio contact with the Coast Guard. All very normal. But around the 6-week mark, I started noticing something off. The journal. That was the first thing. In the keeper's desk, there was this old, leather-bound journal. Not from the previous season. Way older. Inside, there were entries dated all the way back to 1891. Most were mundane. Weather, maintenance, supply deliveries. But every couple of years, there'd be a note about a visitor. Not a guest, not a tourist, a visitor. One entry from 1903 just said, "Visitor came again. Foghorn went off at 2:17 a.m. No vessel logged. Left boots by the stairs." Another from 1926. "Third time this year, same knock, same whisper. Let me see." I did not open the door. There were dozens like that. Sometimes the dates lined up with missing persons cases I looked up online, especially locals from Port Blossom. One girl, Lila Brent, vanished in 1978. One of the last entries that year said, "She came to the rocks, she went willingly, the light knows." I didn't sleep much after that. Then came the noises. Not just creaking wood or seagulls. Voices. Always faint, always after midnight. Once, I swear I heard someone breathing right behind me, but when I turned, no one. Another night, I went outside with my flashlight and found footprints in the dew, bare feet leading up to the lighthouse door, but not away from it. I sent a few of these findings to a friend of mine, Erica, who does archival work for the state. She called me 4 days later in full panic. Told me Port Blossom had a history, a whole file cabinet's worth of unexplainable vanishings, most of them within a 5-mile radius of the lighthouse. She also found an old map. And this is where it gets insane. The original 1800s map had the lighthouse labeled as St. Elmo's Eye. Not a name anyone uses now. But Erica found a marginal note, faded as hell, that said, "Built not to warn ships, but to keep something in." I haven't told the society. I haven't told the Coast Guard. I don't think they'd believe me. But last night was different. The foghorn went off at 2:17 a.m. No ships logged. I heard the knock, 3 short raps, exactly like the entry said. Then a whisper, almost too faint to hear. "Let me see." I didn't open the door. I just sat there, shaking, holding my breath. But the light turned on by itself. It hasn't worked in decades. I don't know what's going on, but I think the lighthouse remembers. And I think it wants me to remember too. I'll update if I make it off this island. Update 1, posted 1 month ago. Title: The light turned on again. This time, it showed me something. Thanks to everyone who commented or messaged. I didn't expect that post to blow up. I've read every DM, even the weird ones. Especially the weird ones. A few of you asked why I haven't just left. Believe me, I've thought about it. But the supply boat's only scheduled every other Friday, and calling the Coast Guard for a ghost emergency didn't feel like a great way to keep my sanity intact, or my contract. Since the first post, things have escalated. The light? It's been turning on by itself at exactly 2:17 a.m. every single night. And it's not just a faint glow, it's blinding, piercing, like it's scanning the ocean for something or someone. I've tried turning it off manually, but the wiring's fried. It shouldn't even have power. Yet here we are. 3 nights ago, I stood at the top of the tower while the light was on, just to see. The beam swept across the sea like it used to. But when it hit the rocks on the northern point, it stopped, paused, then reversed, like it had seen something. I followed the beam with binoculars. What I saw? There was a figure, standing ankle-deep in the water, looking up at me. Could have been a woman, long hair, thin frame. She didn't move, just stared. The light hit her dead on and still, no movement. When I blinked, she was gone. I thought I was hallucinating, sleep-deprived. But when I went down to the beach that morning, footprints, leading from the waterline to the rocks, then vanishing completely. I called Erica again. She dug deeper. Turns out the original keeper from 1891, a guy named Elias Griggs, went missing too. His last journal entry? The sea calls her back. She never forgets a face. Same day, a schooner wrecked nearby. No survivors, except no bodies were ever found. Erica found another clue. A ledger from a maritime chapel in Port Blossom, dated 1866. It lists Elena Griggs under deaths. Drowned. Age 24. Married to Elias. So now I'm wondering, is the visitor a woman? Is it Elena? And is she trying to bring Elias or anyone back with her? Last night, I locked the tower door, bolted it, slept downstairs with the journal. At exactly 2:17, the foghorn went off. I closed my eyes, but then I heard it. The knock. 3 raps. Not at the door, but from inside the tower. I'm not alone here. And I don't think I ever was. I'm trying to hold it together, but something's waking up, and I think it wants me to see. Update 2, posted 3 weeks ago. Title: The journal had a page I swear wasn't there before. Hey again. I'm still here, still alive, but barely sleeping. After that last knock, from inside the tower, I spent 2 nights in the boathouse. I needed distance, space. But I couldn't stop thinking about the journal, about the woman, about Elias and Elena. The morning after I moved back into the main quarters, I went straight to the journal. And there it was. A page I'm telling you was not there before. The handwriting was older, jagged, ink smudged like someone wrote it in a panic. It read, "She is not Elena. She wears her shape, but she is older than the sea, older than the light. The eye was built to bind her. We all forget that part." I reread it a dozen times. The eye. Same as on the map Erica found, St. Elmo's Eye. I called Erica again, told her everything. She swore no one else had access to the LightHouse records. The journal was never digitized. But when she checked the Preservation Society archive, there was a reference card. The original title? Log of the Eye's Warden. Warden, not keeper. What if this wasn't just a light tower? What if it was a prison or a seal? And what if it's failing? That night, I didn't sleep. I sat by the door with a flashlight and the journal in my lap. 2:17 came. Light blazed. Foghorn blasted. The knock came, again from inside. This time, I opened the tower door. No one there. But the spiral staircase was wet. Seawater, slick and glistening, leading all the way up. I followed it. Every step creaked. I swear the temperature dropped with each turn. When I reached the top, the light was on. Blinding, as usual. But outside the window, pressed against the glass, was a face. Not a woman's, not human. Pale, round eyes, no lips, just blackness where the mouth should be. And its hand, long-fingered, clawed, tapped 3 times against the window pane. I stumbled back, fell down 3 steps. When I looked up again, it was gone. But the beam of the lighthouse had shifted again. It was no longer scanning the ocean. It was aimed straight at Port Blossom. Something's changed. It's not looking for something out there anymore. It's looking inward. Update 3 unposted 2 weeks ago. Title: Port Blossom is hiding something, and I think the town knows. This might be the last time I post, not because I'm giving up, but because I think someone's trying to stop me. After the light turned toward Port Blossom, I tried calling Erica again. No answer. Left her 3 voicemails, texted her. Nothing. Radioed the Coast Guard. Static. No response. I felt cut off, like the island was pushing me inward, just like the beam of that cursed light. But then I found something. In the maintenance shed, behind a false wall panel, I discovered a second journal. Not like the first. This one wasn't leather. It was oilskin, waterproofed. Newer pages. Dates from the 1980s through the early 2000s. All written by past keepers. Most of it was mundane. Storm logs. Repairs. Until I reached an entry from 1998. Beacon reset to Northern Watch. Unnatural pressure in the lens housing. Heard knocking from the lower stairwell. Woke with brine in my lungs. Town warned me. They said to never point the light inland. Never again. Town warned me. Why would Port Blossom warn him not to point the light inward, unless they already knew what it could awaken? I couldn't shake it. So yesterday, I took the emergency dinghy and rowed the 2 miles into town. It's not big. Population maybe 600, if that. Main street, church, bait shop, diner, the usual. The moment I stepped off the dock, I felt it. People stared. Not curious, not friendly, wary, like I was radiation walking on 2 legs. I went to the town library. They had nothing on the lighthouse. No photos, no blueprints, nothing. The librarian looked uncomfortable when I asked about it. Said, "Some things are best left with the tide." Then I went to the diner, ordered coffee, didn't drink it. A man, late 60s, big beard, fisherman vibes, sat down across from me uninvited. He didn't introduce himself, just stared at me for a good minute, then said, "She sees you now. You stayed too long." I asked who she was. He didn't blink. The Sea Bride. That's what we used to call her. Before the lighthouse kept her quiet, before people got curious. Then he left. I tried asking around more, but people started closing shop early. I got the message. Took the dinghy back before sundown. The light turned on again last night. But this time the beam didn't stop at Port Blossom. It moved across the island. It lit up my window. Something is watching me. And it's not just her. The whole town. They're complicit. I think they feed her. Update 4. Posted 1 week ago. Title: I opened the sealed hatch. I wish I hadn't. First off, I managed to get one text from Erica. Just 4 words. Get out, too late. No follow-up, no calls. Her number is dead now. I don't know if she sent it from a burner or if someone got to her. Either way, it confirmed what I already felt in my gut. I'm not just a witness anymore. I'm part of whatever's happening here. After that last night, when the light lit up my window, I couldn't take it anymore. I tore apart the tower base looking for answers. That's when I noticed the iron ring bolted into the floor beneath the rug. I yanked it open. Hidden beneath was a rusted hatch sealed with wax and what I swear looked like dried salt packed into the seams. I pried it open. The air that came out was wrong, wet, ancient, like a tide pool gone sour. The stairs below spiraled down into blackness, deeper than the base should go. I went down. Yeah, I know. But you weren't here? You didn't feel it pulling you? The tunnel at the bottom was carved from rock, slick with moss. Not man-made, at least not recently. Symbols lined the walls. Same ones I'd seen scribbled in the first journal. Ones that looked like eyes, teeth, waves curling around screaming faces. At the end of the tunnel was a chamber. Circular, empty. Except for the mirror. I don't know how else to describe it. It looked like black water suspended vertically, rimmed by rusted brass. It didn't reflect me. It reflected her, the Sea Bride. The not Elena thing. Pale and slick, with hair floating like she was underwater. Her mouth opened slowly, impossibly wide. No teeth. Just darkness. Then she reached through. Only her fingers made it through the surface before I ran. I heard the mirror ripple behind me, heard her scream, not with sound, but inside my skull, like pressure dropping, a deep groan that rattled my fillings. When I got back up, the light was off, the first time in weeks. But the fog outside had turned black. Not gray, not white, black, like ink. And I swear I heard a voice on the wind say, "You saw her. Now she sees you." I'm sealing the hatch again. I packed the seams with salt, burned the rug. But I can still feel her, like static in my bones. I don't think the lighthouse is keeping her in anymore. I think it's calling her home. Update 5. Posted 3 days ago. Title: The supply boat came early. They're not here to help. Okay, so I might have underestimated just how deep this goes. I've been keeping watch at night, flashlight and flare gun in hand. The fog hasn't lifted since I opened the hatch. Still pitch black, still humming like it's alive. I've barely slept. Every few hours I hear movement outside, splashing, footsteps on gravel. Once I thought I saw a figure at the edge of the cliff just watching. Then yesterday something unexpected. The supply boat arrived. Not the usual skipper. 2 men I'd never seen before. No ID, no greeting. Just stone-faced, wearing those bright orange rain slickers like fishermen from a nightmare. One of them kept glancing up at the lighthouse like it might lunge at him. They didn't bring supplies. No food, no gas canisters. Just a thick canvas bag and a small metal case. I asked them who sent them. One said, "Society wanted a check-in. You've been behind on logs." That's a lie. I've been sending my reports. I even have the radio logs. When I told them that, they just looked at each other. Later, I peeked inside the canvas bag when they weren't watching. Rope, chains, hooks. Inside the metal case, vials of some thick black liquid. Looked like oil, but it shimmered, moved on its own. I don't think they're here for me. I think they're here for her. Last night, the light came on again. 2:17 a.m. The men were still here, sleeping or pretending to in the boathouse. I watched from the tower as the beam scanned the water, and when it hit a specific patch of ocean just beyond the rocks, the surface boiled. Not waves, not fish. Hands. Hundreds of them breaching the water, pale, reaching, some clawing at the rocks. One made it to shore. I saw it drag itself up, long and wrong, like a drowned thing trying to remember how legs worked, and the light didn't stop it. It guided it. The sea bride isn't alone, and she isn't trapped anymore. She's summoning them, and the society knows. I'm going to confront the men tonight. If I don't post again, you know what happened. Tell Erica I'm sorry. Update 6. Posted 1 day ago. Title: I confronted them. Only one of us made it back. I waited until just after midnight. The fog was thicker than ever, like breathing through soup. I took the flare gun and the old journal tucked under my coat. I found the 2 men in the boathouse. They were awake, waiting for me. I didn't waste time. I asked what the black liquid was, what the society really wanted. The shorter guy, older, smiled like I'd finally solved a riddle. He said, "Their offerings. The sea bride doesn't take people anymore, not unless she's starving." He opened the metal case and held up one of the vials. This is memory, pain, the best parts of the drowned. We distill it, keep her calm." I asked why the light was turning inland. He just shrugged. "She's restless. It happens. It's your turn to quiet her." The tall one lunged. I fired the flare. It hit him in the chest. He screamed, flailed, caught fire. The canvas bag went up with him. The other guy ran. I tried to stop the fire, but it was too late. The boathouse collapsed, took half the dock with it. I don't know if the tall one burned alive or drowned. I haven't seen the other guy since. When I got back to the tower, the light was already on. But it wasn't sweeping. It was fixed, locked on the base of the lighthouse itself. At 2:17 a.m., the knocking started again. Not from the tower, from every wall. Then the mirror beneath the hatch started humming. I could feel it through the stone, like a heartbeat. She's angry now. I don't think this place can hold her anymore. Not after the fire, not after I interrupted whatever the society had planned. I'm barricading the hatch, using everything I can. Furniture, salt, nails, even old boat chains. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I saw something in the light just before it blinked out. The sea bride. And she was smiling. Update 7. Posted today. Title: Port Blossom is gone. I'm writing this from the tower, what's left of it. If this post uploads, if anyone sees this, know that I tried. At sunrise, the fog lifted, for the first time in weeks. But what it revealed wasn't salvation. Port Blossom is gone, not burned, not flooded, just missing. In its place is water. Endless, black water. The cliff where the town sat is crumbled into the sea like it never existed. Only the church steeple remains, half submerged, bells still chiming from beneath the surface. She took it. I don't know how. I don't know why. Maybe it was punishment. Maybe the town fed her for so long that when they stopped, she consumed them. Maybe she was always going to. Around noon, I saw shapes swimming beneath the waves. Not fish. People, dozens. Naked, pale, eyes wide open, staring up, moving slowly, like they were waiting for a signal. One of them looked like the tall man I burned. The mirror below is no longer silent. It pulses. It chants. Not in words, but in feelings. Hunger, mourning, rage. It wants out. I've reinforced the hatch again, but it's only delaying the inevitable. Salt won't hold her now. I tried broadcasting a distress signal. Nothing. Static and that same pressure sound. Like something pressing its mouth to the microphone, breathing words that don't belong in this world. I think she wants me to write, to tell her story. Maybe that's why she hasn't taken me yet. Or maybe she wants a witness. To remember Port Blossom. To remember what she is. Final update, posted 12 hours later. Title, she's in the tower now. I don't know how long I have. The mirror cracked. Not shattered. Just a single line down the center, like a wound. Since then, the walls have started bleeding salt water. It's pooling on the floor. The air tastes like brine and rust. The light turned on one last time tonight. But it didn't spin. It stared. The beam locked onto the broken steeple. Something answered from beneath the waves. It crawled. The sea bride. Or what's left of her human shape. She came up the rocks like something learning gravity. Her bones moved wrong. Her arms stretched too far. Her face was a storm of mouths. I ran, locked myself in the keeper's quarters. But I can hear her now. On the stairs. Wet footprints. The door swells with pressure like it's breathing. I've posted everything I can. Journal scans, photos, audio clips. If this makes it out, if anyone reads this, don't let the society rebuild. Don't let them rename this place. Don't let her sleep again. She's not a ghost. She's not a myth. She's waiting. My name was Ray. I was the last keeper of the eye. I didn't keep it shut. I'm sorry. If you like these stories and videos, make sure to like, comment, and share so we can make some money from ad revenue and continue getting better and better with our publications. We strive to donate a portion of everything we make to charities that make a difference. Let us know if there is someone or thing you want to support. Thank you for staying until the end and enjoying the story.